Focus, 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 focus. Have you ever heard somebody tell you you need to focus on one thing and really niche down because your message is all over the place? If so, you're going to want to tune in, you're going to want to share this, and you're going to want to engage even if you're watching the replay, because today we have a special guest who I will bring on here shortly that's going to help you with your messaging and help you understand how to overcome those fears of niching down. So let's jump into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, Facebook Live producer, helping businesses just like yours show up online, show up, deliver, and engage online through live broadcasting. If you need help with your video content and really being able to utilize Facebook Live, that's just the starting place, Facebook Live, to get seen, heard, and really get your business out there, then please let me know. Just shoot me a message. And today we are excited because we get to have a special guest on the show, and I'm going to bring them on in just a second. We're going to be talking about overcoming your fears of niching down. How many of you have that fear? Anybody? Or is it just me? Anybody? Even if you're watching the replay, be sure to let me know down below because I connect with you guys after the fact too. So let me go ahead and bring on our special guest while you guys are getting situated and you're connecting with each other. Let me go ahead and bring on Katie.
Hello. I feel so special being backstage.
Crazy. It's fun.
It is fun.
So go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone watching, even those watching the replay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, everybody, my name is Katie Craig. I am a momentum coach and I own Momentum Concepts. We run two businesses through there. One is Designed for Momentum and the other one is Momentum Coaching. So we work with entrepreneurs who have a holistic focus, usually a mind, body, spirit focus or fitness. And we help them to get really clear on what their niche is and how to speak to that niche. And then we can support them through coaching, marketing, and branding.
Oh, I love it. How many of you guys are so excited about this? I think like perfect timing too, because of the new year. We're just barely getting into February, which I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like, I'm glad it's slow. It's a slow movement, but I feel like so much has happened and it's just the beginning of February.
I know. I don't know where January went. It just disappeared. It was so fast and so many things happened. And I think that's the start of every year, right? I think we get moving and we get so excited about a new year. We have so many goals, and then all of a sudden half the year is gone and we realize, oh my gosh, we have so much more we want to do. So focus is a big thing in the beginning of the year.
It's so true. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation because this is important for all of us, no matter what stage we're at in our business. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I revisit my focus and my niche, I think just about every year, just to make sure that I'm still heading in the right direction because, you know, we change and we grow. And sometimes we learn more about our businesses the further we get into them and see what we really want to be focusing on or where our true nature really is. And I imagine even as technology changes, we find better places to be out in the world. You know, I mean, Facebook Lives, I've had this conversation a lot recently. You know, 5 or 10 years ago, I started my business 14 years ago, and I had somebody ask me the other day, how did you market yourself in the beginning? Yeah. And I said, well, I took flyers to coffee shops. I sat down and had coffee with people. That's how you marketed. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have, you know, even websites were a newer thing back then. Sure. So everything changes. So we have to be able to adapt and grow with that. And our niches sometimes adapt and grow with us as well.
And I love that you bring that up because for those of you watching and listening, understand that you have to keep up with the times. We talk about that all the time. Yeah. There's always, of course, new technology that's going to make it easier. In some cases, a little bit harder for us, you know, depending on our tech skills. But the importance is that we are paying attention and that we understand that we have to take that time to step back and evaluate things and really understand that it's not just a set it and forget it type thing. We have to keep the momentum going. And we also have to understand too, I love how you brought up the marketing part of what you used to do in terms of flyers and coffee chats in person. You guys, those can still take place and they can still be effective, but that shouldn't be the only thing that you're doing. You should also be embracing the power of online and be able to do some of the digital stuff. That's what I love to do, is be able to help you connect the dots between the two, because it's so important for any business, especially these days.
Absolutely. I also think important too is to think about, where is your audience? Not everybody is tech savvy. So if you have an audience that isn't tech savvy, maybe coffee and things like that are better for you. But so much of the world is online now. It would really behoove, I think, anybody watching to make sure that they're looking at where their audience is and then what channels they're online, and see where do they need to be marketing, where are their efforts going to be best spent, especially if they're not super tech savvy.
Yes. And I want to point out too for everyone is that I know so many of us love Instagram, and I know Instagram can definitely be a big moneymaker for some businesses. But as Katie just said, make sure you're aware of where your audience is. And I really have to stress this, because even for myself, you guys know I'm a Facebook, that's my jam. And I love Facebook, and it's still the #1 social network. Everyone is still on it, even if they don't want to be. And you have all age levels on there for the most part. And so we have to understand that that's still a very big part of our marketing when we're online. Instagram, of course, is going to be playing a role, especially more so in certain businesses. But understand that if Instagram is not necessarily working for you, maybe you need to step back and look at, where is my audience? Because I know a lot of you are targeting a more seasoned crowd, and they're on Instagram, or they know Instagram, but they're not being in the business mindset for Instagram. They're on there because they want to see the cute photos, or they want to keep up with the teenagers, so we have to really understand the meaning behind all of that. Kind of lost my words there, but anyway, I just want to talk about that before we jumped into the actual messaging here, and really niching down for businesses, because it's scary. Anybody else feel that way? Is it just me?
I definitely did.
How does that work in terms of when people come to you? Because let's just start at the beginning, because that's something where we'll just all be on the same page. I want to help everyone, and my business helps everyone.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. And then the other thing I hear, like almost immediately after that statement, is, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm scared to leave anybody out. And so it's a really, really, really common fear when people come to me and are looking to either grow their businesses or start their businesses. And I can tell you that in the beginning, and I'll tell you kind of the repercussions of not niching first, because I think it's really important to see this. And I can, after 14 years in business, I can say certainly that this is what happens, is you're wasting time and you're wasting money. And you're going to be burnt out at some point if you're trying to hit everybody. Because what happens is, when you're trying to serve literally everybody out there, number one, you don't like everybody in the world, right? Like, we're human. So there's people that we get along with better than others. And so you're going to be attracting people into your business that really aren't a great fit for you and for your personality and the way that you work. And so that leads to burnout eventually. The other thing is, you end up trying to please everyone, and it's impossible. And so when you start to niche down, and you can do this very, very successfully without boxing yourself in, and really without leaving anybody out, it's really all about, niching is about focusing. So bringing it into a focus point so that you can market effectively, and you can get out there and reach the people that you're looking for in a very personal way. So you're creating a personal connection, and then you can expand into another niche. So just because you choose a niche now doesn't mean you don't get to expand later. But what I always say is that you want to have a foundation. So I always recommend creating a positioning statement for your business. So for instance, I help people to find momentum in their lives, businesses, and careers, right? It's pretty simple. But what I can do with that is look at the different, what we call verticals in marketing of the people that I want to be working with. So one of those verticals is holistic small businesses that are in the mind, body, spirit, and fitness arena.
Okay.
And so there's a difference. Let me back up for just a minute too, because there's a difference between horizontal marketing and vertical marketing. If you think of a horizontal market, you're thinking of like a Walmart. They have 1,000 products. They have 1,000,000 products, right?
Yeah.
And they can hit a broad spectrum of people. They really can market to anyone because they have the pockets to do it. They have the ability to do that because they have a deep marketing and advertising budget to get out there in front of people and sell products that are everyday use type products. When you're in a small business, it doesn't work like that because you don't have that massive budget. You don't have that massive reach, right? And so we start to do what's called vertical marketing, is we start to go after specific target markets to get our products and services out into the world and then expand our offerings as we go. But every target market that you're talking to has a foundational positioning statement that it upholds. Does that make sense?
Yes. So
Okay.
just to recap for those,
Yep.
so horizontal market is really thinking about the Walmarts and like these big chain stores that we see ads for all day long, and we're like, yes, I can do that. I want to be that brand.
Yeah.
But we don't have that budget. We're not on that level, and we have to step back and remember that we're on a different level, which is okay.
Absolutely.
And the vertical marketing is more of the pick a lane to really target. And then from there, you have your foundation statement that then once you drive home with that market, then you can expand.
Yes, exactly. Would it help if I gave some examples?
Please, yeah. Love
Okay.
examples.
Yeah. So if we take Segway, for instance.
Okay.
Segway was a company that was not doing really well. And so they were reaching this point in their advertising where they needed to expand, but they were running out of money. And so they began to create vertical markets. And when they did that, they're a transportation company at the heart of things, right? But when they did that, they were able to reach out and start to target market to security companies and start to target to tourist mobility and start to target to, let's say, tour companies even. And so they started to find these markets where they could get really specific in the marketing that they were doing to get the word out about their products. And in that way, they became every city in America, right, has Segways now. Every major city has Segways that you can see tourists taking Segway tours around, or you can see a police officer, rolling down the street on a Segway. Yep. And so these target markets helped them to get really specifically focused with their marketing without having to dilute the brand that they'd created.
Wow.
Another good example would be, and I'm just going to take this like straight to a small business, is if you're an acupuncturist, let's say that you have a foundational positioning statement where you're helping to work with individuals who are dealing with stress-related injuries and conditions.
Okay.
And so in that way, you can start to look at, okay, first thing that you might want to do with stress-related injuries and conditions, maybe you have a huge passion for athletes. And so you start to work on acupuncture for athletes who have dealt with sports injuries. Yes. And so you're still upholding that positioning statement of treating stress-related injuries, but now you've got a specific focus. So your marketing can go straight to athletes. You can get really, really targeted with what you're saying to them and how acupuncture can help them. And then Ed sees that ad, right, and goes, oh my gosh, I know somebody. Mike just had this happen. I'm going to send Mike over to you because you're the person that helps athletes, right? Then once that's rolling and going really well, maybe you expand into sleep disorders. You're still dealing with a stress-related condition, right?
Yep.
So it makes sense because it supports your foundational statement, but you're actually working in a new modality and getting out there in a different way. And so everything that you do, everybody that comes to you still knows you're dealing with stress-related conditions. So all the ways that stress affects our lives, now you can create specific marketing for those verticals as you get specific in how you're helping people. And then your audience goes, yes, I know Katie's the go-to person for acupuncture for this.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys, if you're watching the replay, I don't know if you know just how golden all of that was right now. Like, you're going to want to replay this because of that moment right there. Obviously we look good and we're bringing you all the info here, but that little section is good because you really have to understand, like, this is something that so many of us fight, and some of us fight till the day we go out of business. And it breaks my heart. And it's one of those things that even myself, I've been working on this, you guys. And for those who have followed me, you've seen the journey. And it really takes a lot of mindset shifting and a lot of time, but it's worth it. And what you were just saying, Katie, about being able to start with one thing, run it till it gets really good there, and then you start to expand, which is key, right, guys? Because a lot of us are like, okay, cool, I have a new idea for a course, I'm going to start it, and then I do it, and then on to the next product. And it's like, no, really run with it until it's good to go, and then branch out. And I love how you were talking about where somebody can now refer you as that specialist.
Yes.
That's a big one, because I know so many of us either are or wanting to charge more, make more money, right? How many of you guys want to make more money? How many of you are really trying to work on your marketing efforts? And if you're not, you need to. And how many of you want to take that pressure off of trying to serve everyone and be everything to everyone? Like, everyone's hands should be going up. Your head should be nodding, like, this is the moment where that light bulb goes off and you take those notes and you really carve out some time this week to make sure you step back and look at, what am I doing? What do I want to be known for? I was just having this conversation with Katie before we went live here, that it's been amazing because I've been working on a program, working on my own stuff through a program, and being able to really fine tune things. And I've fought that struggle. Trust me, I've been fighting it. There's some days that I'm still fighting it just a little bit, because we get into that, oh, am I in the box? I don't want to be confined in the box. But I will tell you, from the conversations I've had with people and the reactions that I get from people, both in person and online, I'm getting the validation that, yes, Ed, you are doing the right thing. Niching down is going to be good for you. It is already starting to get noticed, and people are already like, oh, you're doing something that is very specific that others may include in what they offer or talk about it, but no one's actually specializing in it. No one's actually paying that much attention to it to be able to teach it out. And that, my friends, is where the gold is. And that is where, not even just about the money, but that, if you're like me, that's where you get so energized and you're like, yes, why did I do this before? Like, and it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Like, you learn, as Katie was talking about, like, we continuously are developing in our business. Doesn't matter if you're brand new or you're 20 years in, like, we're constantly learning, and you should be, because change equals growth. And if you're not willing to change, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you are going out of business. And I don't want you to become the next Blockbuster. I want you to become the next Netflix. Okay. That's my 2 cents on that.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. And the other thing that I say, when you say, like, if you're not growing, you're going out of business, the step before that, I think, even is, are you running a business or are you running a hobby? Because a lot of us are, and I was this person for the first probably 5 years of my business. I worked so hard. I did so much, and I made nothing. And I was not sure what was going on. And until I got focused on, okay, who do I really want to work with, it didn't start to grow.
Yeah.
I wasn't reaching anybody because I was literally trying to talk to everybody. So you don't have to focus down on just one thing for the rest of your business, but you do have to focus on one thing to start.
Oh,
And that's going to get you so much further along. And, we're classic entrepreneurs, right? Our brains go in a million directions. We want to do so many things. We have a million ideas. That's what makes us entrepreneurs. We're not always so good at focusing.
true. And thinking about that, I will mention this to you guys, and I don't know, maybe Katie, you do this as well. But for me, what I have done is I actually have a Word document. I'm going to just tell you guys this. I have a Word document where I actually have gotten in the habit now of making sure that the idea I have that I'm energized about is going to be part of the bigger picture under my brand. And then what I do is I actually organize it into like an outline inside the Word document. So then that way I don't jump right away. It's there. I put all the notes that are in my head in that moment. So it's fresh and it's right there. And then I can come back to it. And
Yeah.
from that, I can then actually go through the list with a fresh mind, not excited and ready to go, but just a fresh, level-headed mind where I'm looking at it and saying, this is good. It's not right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
The next phase or whatnot, the next sprint.
Yes, so good. I think that having it at a minimum, doing what you're doing with a Word document and having a brain dump type of Word document is what every entrepreneur should have. I love that you've elevated it and taken it to that next level of actually breaking it down and looking at, does this move me forward today? Or is this for tomorrow? That's so smart.
It's a game changer, you guys, and it's really important to know that because just like you, I can run with a bunch of ideas, and trust me, you guys, I can move and shake pretty good, and I can get things done. But that's not the point. The point is it going to fit right now? And once you have it, how are you going to market it?
Yes.
That's the big, big struggle, I think, for all of us is the marketing part.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I always recommend when you're starting to figure out what your niche is so that you can get super clear is start a mind map. Do you know what a mind map is? Some people do, some people don't.
I love mind map.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
I love it.
So for anybody who's watching that doesn't know what a mind map is, basically it's a series of bubbles on a page, right? So your middle bubble is your business or you, depending. And then you're going to draw a line and you're going to do your first idea. So this is what I'm passionate about, right? So you want to start with what you're passionate about and you want to start with the type of people that you love to work with. So this is my business and these are the types of either markets or people that I am excited about working with. And you're going to draw a line and another bubble and you're going to write something there. If you have another thought that relates to that, you draw another line and another bubble and write that. If it's a new thought, you take it from that center bubble out to a new space through a new line. So before you know it, you have a large mind map that is literally mapping out for you all of these different thought patterns that you have, all of the ideas. I call it your master brain dump, right? You're taking your master brain dump, you're putting it on this piece of paper, and then you're seeing how it all connects. And then you can take that and prioritize it into which of these gets you most excited? Where do you want to start? And then you have a map for the next, who knows, 5 or 10 years as you go forward into what you can go into next. But always be thinking about, everybody thinks of demographics when they think about who they want to work with first. And I don't do that when I work with my clients. I want you to think about the characteristics of the type of people that you want to work with, because every day you should be working with individuals who, one, get you and you get them, and you're excited to work with them. If you have somebody coming in the door that you're like, I can help you, but I'm not really that excited about what you're doing, what's the point? Yeah. You didn't start your business to work like that. So think about the characteristics of your top 5 favorite clients or your top 5 favorite people and write down what they have in common. That's going to get you moving forward. And then think about the areas in life that you find passion with, that you're passionate about. For me, when I figured out that I was passionate about holistic living, I literally came from healthcare marketing and I hated it. And I thought, I don't want to keep doing design. I don't want to keep doing any of that because I'm so tired of doing it. But when I shifted that focus, even just slightly, to holistic marketing and working with holistic business owners, I felt like I could create such a bigger ripple out in the world through their businesses and helping them to market their businesses. It totally shifted my mindset.
That is amazing. And that's what it's about, is being able to really understand what it is you are comfortable with, that you want to do, not necessarily that you can do, but what is it that you really want to do.
Thank you. Yes.
There's a difference, so many of us, we can all do a lot of things, and it's fine. But is that what we really want to do with our time, and really understand that there's that difference? And what's funny is that you mentioned about the mind maps. I actually did, before I created the Word document, I started with the mind map.
I love it.
And I transformed it into the Word document because I had to write more info on there.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
Anybody who's looking, there's tons and tons of mind maps, guys, out there. You can search Google. You can go into the App Store. I will tell you the one that I use, because I feel like a lot of you probably want that. I'm sure. I don't know. You can tell me down below. But it's called Simple Mind Plus. Simple Mind Plus. And it's an easy one. It's on the iPhone. I'm sure Android has it too. If not, like I said, just Google mind maps. There's tons of different ones out there. You can also just do good old pen and paper if you want to go the low tech route. But the important part is that you take what's up here and you get it out.
Mm-hmm. And then you organize it.
You organize it. Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to write that one down too. I always learn something from you, Ed. You always have some kind of tidbit of something in there that I always write down. I love it.
See, and you guys, that's what I love about this. This is what I love about being able to do these lives, to be able to show up with you guys, have guests on like yourself, Katie, to be able to really connect, because again, they're conversations worth having. And when we start talking, we start having other things come up. Did I have that planned where I was going to share my mind map app with you guys? No. Did I have a plan that I was going to give you information about the Word document process I have? No. But guess what? Because of the conversation, that came out, and you guys get to walk away with so much more. And that's the beauty of live broadcasting.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you're stretching me into getting into live broadcasting too, because you know what? I'll tell you something. You started off saying that social media just in general is important, and Facebook especially is important, and that you don't always get the same impact from different social media channels. And I'm telling you, 14 years, I have told everybody, I don't get clients off of social media. It's just it's not a channel that for me and my business works for making money. It's not how I primarily market myself. But you have totally shifted my mindset on that, from this type of perspective on going live and doing this type of thing, because generally posts, yes, we get feedback, yes, people comment and like them, but it does not have the same impact. And so I love that you are expressing or spreading people's awareness of getting out there in a bigger way and using the tools in a different way than they may think they can. So you're even shifting me in that. So thank you.
I love it. See, this is what you guys can see my energy, or you can feel my energy. You can see my excitement, how goofy I get when I hear that, right? It's so powerful. And for you sharing that live, it's amazing, because others can hear it and see it, of course. But for me to just know that is a huge thing. And again, like you mentioned, with a regular post, and this happens, you guys, with so many businesses. One, they may not even be posting. That's the start, right? We're gonna start posting. But two, really, when you start posting, again, you have to mix it up. Your marketing plan should not just be one thing on one channel. You constantly are testing to see what happens. I know a lot of local businesses will still do the mailers. They'll be sending things in the mail. That may still work for them. However, if they're not testing other things, that is an expensive piece of marketing that they're not getting a return on, and they could be doing something else with that money and that time like this and getting more real-time engagement and direct feedback. So understand, again, like we said earlier, you have to be testing and you have to be open to change. And that's why I love doing this stuff, and I love having these conversations, because it helps us all keep moving forward. And no matter what level we're at, we can walk away with one thing that we can do to, test out and see what happens.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And as you shift and grow and as you expand into new niches, you have even more to say. I mean, I think that that's the beauty of that approach, is having that focus. You can get on, I mean, any topic that you would start to focus on, you could easily break out into so many different smaller conversations through Facebook Lives. And then when you get ready to expand your offering into the next topic, you do the same thing again. I mean, it's so expansive. There's so much to cover.
It's so true. Oh, this is so good. I want to make sure we're good on time still, but I want to make sure that we are covering as much as you wanted to cover in this live, because you're our special guest. So did we cover pretty much everything that you wanted to get through, or do we have other things that we want to talk about?
Yeah, I think I just want to, the biggest thing I just want to reiterate is if you are trying to talk to everybody, like I said, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to get to that space where you're actually over-promising and under-delivering, which no business owner wants. Because if you're trying to make everybody happy, people are coming in asking you for things that are probably outside of your skill set. So it's probably not even working to do that in the first place. And so as you begin to get more focused on who you want to be working with and the characteristics that they have and the spaces that they're in out in the world and the thing that they most need. And there's a big difference between what a client needs and what they want, right? When they come in the door, a lot of times they want something specific, but what they need is much bigger than that. So keep your marketing, the upfront outer marketing, focused on what they want, because that's important. You have to reach them where they are, but know that you have a whole layer underneath that you're offering them that they're getting when they work with you. And then once you do this and you begin to get more focused and begin to become the go-to person. So anybody that wants to learn more about how to get more of an impact on Facebook, my immediate mind goes to Ed, right? It goes to you. And so if that's the case, then I'm automatically becoming a referral partner for you. Yeah. I'm automatically thinking, okay, that's where I send somebody. And when you can do that in your business and become that expert and become that person that people want to send people to, you automatically create a funnel of more money, more time, more clients, and more joy in your business, because you're just creating an abundance naturally by the things that you love to do. How amazing is that?
Wow.
So I think that's just the biggest thing, is just the outcome of it. Marketing, getting out there, getting your voice and your message out there becomes so much easier when you start with that focus and then expand from there.
Oh, so good. I love it. Thank you so much, Katie. And I have your link in the description. So if people want to connect with you, which they should, on Facebook and on your website, it's there. But for those listening, where can they find you?
So they can find me at dailymomentum.com. And once you get in there, you can choose life, career, business, whatever you need in there. But the business, this topic would be under the business section.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Ed. I've had so much fun talking to you, as always. Always a blast, and the energy always flows so well. So thank you for having me on today.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here with us, and I will see you online.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So there you have it. That was the topic for today. How awesome is that? So I want you guys to pick one thing, because we covered a lot. I want you to pick one thing that you are going to do, and I want you to do it. What does that mean? That means that you need to comment below and let me know what is it that you're going to do, even if you're watching the replay. And one of those things could be setting 20 minutes today to look at your business, to really step back and look at your business. Another thing could be where you are actually looking at your marketing efforts and looking at the different channels from Facebook, Instagram, to coffee shop meetings, to sending out mailers, whatever it is. But you step back and you look at it and you ask yourself, does this align with what I'm trying to do? What's my focus? Like, just pick one thing that you can implement, because there's so many things here that you're going to be like, yes, this is awesome. I can't wait to implement this. And I'm going to do X, Y, Z and da, 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 da. And then by tonight, you're going to be burnt out and think, well, I don't know. That was a great live. Ed was on, he was talking with, I think, this person named Katie, and, they talked about something with marketing. Like, we don't want that. We want you to pick one thing that you're going to be able to do, write it down, drop it into the comments, and run with it, okay? Because that's the important part, is that you actually implement, because we are so not in tune. We are so trained on social media and just the web in general to be in a passive state where we're just going through the motions, that it's really hard for us to actually stop and make note and take action. And that action might even be you drawing a mind map. That's an easy one. Literally, you get to sit down, draw it out with your pen and paper if you don't want to use tech. Like, whatever it is, just go ahead and do one thing and let me know what it is so I can help support you with that. And if you need help with your live streaming, then schedule the free call. It's right there in the description of this, or just send me a message and we'll go from there. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Take care.